The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 28th day of June, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Greetings, everybody. It's just me. It's just me today. So you don't have to worry about anybody picking on me, calling me names, spitting at me, all of that stuff. It's just me. So nobody to bully me today. So greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Brittany Wolffe on from Love Bomb Design Studios. She's coming back. She's got some good things coming up, so you don't want to miss this conversation. The daily play is music today, so I guess it's just me and you all. So since it's just us, I guess I'll have to give something, a prize to the first person who gets the answer. So stay tuned for that. I know how you all like prizes. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Well, that said, yesterday there was a video going around, and people were sharing it. I saw it through a WhatsApp group, but there was some tourists, apparently, it looked like driving up Burnaby Hill, like basically going the wrong way through Reed Street. And I guess I was puzzled because it looked like people were more interested in recording them rather than helping them and telling them, hey, you're going the wrong way. Although I did kind of hear someone shout that in the background. But it led me to thinking, there was something that happened in Florida some years back where it looked like someone may have been drowning or in trouble, and instead of people helping, they stood around and recorded. And I feel like we definitely live in a less apathetic time. Like we're not as empathetic as we once were, and we kind of think everything's supposed to be recorded, everything's supposed to be content, right? So in order to get back to being a helpful and loving people, I think today's question's only right. Unfortunately, Maya has reported time and time again, not just on this platform, but on her own platform and other platforms that you've seen her over the last few years. But she has reported a large number of road collisions as well as road fatalities. Again, it's only June. We are a few days from half, and we've already almost matched the entirety of last year as far as road fatalities. And I'm a believer in speaking things into people, speaking love into people, speaking hope into people, right? And so today's question is very simple. What advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? What advice would you give to young people who ride and drive on Bermuda's roads? Again, it's not just young people who are getting in, these accidents or road collisions or losing their lives. We know that. Maya gives us the information and stats pretty often. But as adults, as people who may have made mistakes on the roads, as people who currently use the roads, who have likely been using the roads much longer than many young people, that's your question today. We had it on our Instagram stories, and I'll go to some of the Instagram replies in a second. But what do you think? What advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads today? Good morning to you as well, Rashida Godwin, and good morning to everyone out there tuned in. Let's go to some of the Instagram replies. But the question of the morning is, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? We have a crisis on our roads right now. And again, it's not just young people, it's just people in general who are using Bermuda's roads. But let's go to the Instagram story and see what people were saying. So we asked the same question on our Instagram stories yesterday. What advice would you give to young people who ride slash drive on Bermuda's roads? And here are some of the responses that we received. Someone said what they would say to a young person is take your time. Slow motion is better than no motion. And I guess that's a quote from Common, the rapper and actor. Another person says to the question, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? They said, take your time, king/queen. Take your time. Another person says, go in a car if you can. The potholes are lethal on bikes. Another person said, slow down. Abide by the rules of the road. Stay in line and arrive alive. Another says, take your time. Your life is valuable. So I think there's a consensus here. I think it's a theme of take your time, go slow. Another person said, it's not always about how you may be riding, but others that are on the roads. Correct. It's not just about your behavior. It's about others as well, right? So you might need to ride a bit more defensive, right? Again, the question, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? Another person says, don't act a fool. Don't try to overtake if I can literally look you eye to eye while you overtake. So oncoming traffic shouldn't be able to look you eye to eye. Another person says, slow down. Bermuda needs you. Bermuda needs you, young people. Bermuda needs you. Another person says, your family and friends don't want to lose you. You are loved. Somebody loves you. People love you. Take your time. And the final one on our Instagram stories that I'm going to touch on, again, the question is, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? Take your time. So it's a theme there, folks. Take your time. Slow down on Bermuda's roads. We know that there are potholes. We know that inattention, but everyone seems to understand the impact speed has on the way we operate vehicles in Bermuda. Let's go to the audience. Again, the question, folks, come on, we've got to have more than this. What advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? Ebony Souza says, consider everyone to be a bad driver/rider. Don't be overconfident in your own abilities. This is key. This is key because it goes back to what someone else said. You know, it might not be you. When you operate a vehicle, you got to be smart. You got to operate that vehicle in a defensive manner. That means going a bit slower, using your mirrors, paying attention, because you could be doing everything right and somebody come around a blind corner and decide to overtake, thinking or hoping that nothing's coming the other way. If you're driving slow enough and defensive enough, you can actually probably avoid catastrophe. So keep that in mind. Defensive driving will help you as well. The question again, folks, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? Samcat Place says, be vigilant, not just for you, but for what is coming toward you, and take your time. Don't ride the center line on a bike, and check your mirrors when you feel traffic coming behind you. Again, defensive operation of a vehicle. You've got to be defensive out there, right? If you drive slow and cautiously, the chances are less likely of you having a collision. All right. But thank you for that. And that's important. Don't ride the center line. You've got all that road on your side. Try to, I don't even say ride close to just ride center of your lane if you're on a bike. You want to avoid someone pulling out of a stop sign or a blind corner, but you also want to avoid someone coming around or trying to overtake and swiping you or something. So thank you for that, Samcat Place. Folks, again, the question is, what advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? Kenton Trott says, good morning, TDH family. I would tell them to drive with care, caution, and consideration. A simple but effective message. Can't go wrong. And I know it sounds like it's just words, but I mean, try it. Words to live by. It's easy. Try it. Operate your vehicle with care. Be cautious. But you're not the only one who uses the road, so be extremely considerate of others as well. What advice would you give to young people who drive slash ride on Bermuda's roads? Aaron Smith says, beware of your riding habits and riding slash driving habits of others. It's better to arrive late than not at all. Well, here's a story, and no one knows this yet. I forgot to share this yesterday, but don't be disappointed with what I'm about to tell you. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So yesterday I got some mail, folks. I got some mail. So I'm like, well, why is the rental car company sending me this piece of mail? I opened it up, and this piece of mail is telling me that I was caught running a red light in my rental car in Providence, Rhode Island. And I'm like, I didn't run any red light. So they're saying, well, if you want to contest it, da 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 da. I'm like, this is how they get over on folks. I don't even like, how do I go about contesting it? It doesn't give me any instructions. But long story short, they are trying to get me for running. And this is why I keep my dash cam now. My dash cam's for me too. Because if I had my dash cam in that rental car, I'd have said I didn't run the red light. What I probably did was I stopped right beyond this the line to wait to go forward. But yeah, your boy got a traffic offense. That's me being honest with you. I got a traffic offense. And I'm not quite sure how I did that because I don't run lights. But I don't know. I guess I'll have to pay the $100 fine. All that said is, look, none of us is perfect. And even some of us older folks who have been driving a bit longer need some advice every now and then. I the things I see on my camera, one day I'll just share on this show, the kind of things that I capture on my dash cam, not just on the highway, but on regular roads as well. It's insane. I think sometimes some people have this feeling of invincibility when they're operating vehicles. That's a dangerous thought process. It's a very dangerous thought process. Folks, what advice would you give to young people who drive slash ride on Bermuda's roads? Shikarena says, leave with enough time to arrive at your destination safely so you won't feel the need to speed. Now, again, folks, let's say this. You don't have to admit it. I'm not trying to get anyone hemmed up or fired or in trouble with their employer. But 90% of you don't even like the places you're rushing to. You don't even like that job you're going to. But you're risking a fine, a speeding ticket, maybe your license for a few months or a year to get to some place you probably really don't even want to be. You're going out with your friends. You're late for dinner. You're probably already upset with the restaurant that's chosen because it's out of your budget. Now, on top of that, you're going to add a $300 fine. I know it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm serious. I'm trying to be light and talk about fines and speeding rather than loss of life or limbs. Think about it. Unless you're trying to get somewhere in time to say your final words to a dying relative or someone like that, or it's a situation that's like that, ask yourself, is it really worth rushing to get there? Question of the morning, what advice would you give to young people who drive slash ride on Bermuda's roads? Manuela John, she says, other riders slash drivers are not your competition. Woo! There you go. I want to leave that there for a while. Nobody on the road is racing you to go someplace where neither of you want to be. You have a 7:00 dinner. Restaurant closes at 10. You put in your GPS that you're not going to get there to 7:30. Folks, let me tell you what I do. If I'm going to the barber shop, And my barber appointment is at, say, 10 o'clock. And I know I'm running late. I don't care if I'm 2 minutes late. Text the barber, hey, look, I'm running a bit late. I know you might have tight appointments, but I'll probably be there like 10 after. Courtesy. Every time it happens, not every time, because I try not to put myself in that situation, but if it happens, barber responds, no problem. Take your time. Take your time. Keywords. What advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads, folks? Let us know. Sam Cat Place said, I had one of those in Florida, Jamal, so she got caught. Did you contest it? Did you contest it? Sam Cat Place. She says, I just mailed in the money. It wasn't intentional. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't remember, though. I don't remember. And that's why I'm saying, obviously, I don't want to waste my time and theirs, and them. It's like, just paid $100, right? But I'm innocent. That's my challenge. I know I'm innocent. Folks, I know you're saying, oh, Jamal, be accountable. You're always talking about accountability. Folks, I would admit it if I remembered. I would. But I honestly do not remember. What I do know is sometimes when you go to these things where they do have the cameras, and my GPS tells me, right? It tells you, oh, there are stoplight cameras here. I may go over the line a bit while I'm waiting, which is an offense because it starts clicking when you do that. So just keep that in mind. What advice would you give to young people who drive/ride on Bermuda's roads? I think that the consensus this morning so far is take your time. Take your time. Think about the people who love you, right? And I think Manuela John says it right here. Late is late. Whether it's 5 minutes or 25 minutes, the aim is to get to your destination safely. That's the aim. To get to your destination safely. Late is late, folks. Late is late. Anything else? I mean, folks, we have a lot of young people who are operating vehicles in Bermuda right now. What advice would I give them? Let me say. I think that when I was growing up, everyone couldn't wait to turn 16. And back then it was V50s, right? Now, I wonder if Maya knows what a V50 is, but V50s were big back then, right? But in my age, when I finally got there, it was Scoopy. So everybody got a Scoopy. I had a Scoopy. And we couldn't wait to spray paint and name our bikes. And we always talk about what we was going to name our bikes and so on. And if you ask me what advice I would give myself back then, I would probably say, focus on you. And when I say focus on you, I think the way we talk about young people at social media and all, that's how we were with our bikes. It was about an image thing. It was about feeling cool, like part of a crowd or an audience. And I would just say, focus on you. Take your time, be considerate, right? Pay attention. Back then, we didn't have like social media or distractions. We had cell phones, but I don't think people were texting and, riding back then. But I had an accident because I was deciding to eat and drink while I was riding one time, and that didn't go too well. That's part of paying attention. So I would probably tell my younger self, pay attention. Focus on you, getting home safely. What advice would you give to young people who drive and ride on our roads? Oh yeah, Scoopy Squad. Aaron Smith knows what's up. See, V50s would thing of the past when we got to 16. It was like, yeah, Scoopy Squad all day. And then it was another bike. I can't remember. I don't know. Michelle White says, keep an eye out for others because they are not keeping an eye out for you. That's how you have to think when you're on the road, You have to think that this person may not see me, but I see them. You legit have to have that mindset, right? Like, they may not see me, but I see them. That's that extra caution and courtesy you've got to drive with. Aaron Smith said, getting a bike is seen as a rite of passage. Don't feel pressured at 16 to get one or ride if you're uncomfortable. I don't know who I was talking to recently, but someone I was speaking to recently told me they've never ridden a bike, and I can't remember, but I don't knock it. I think growing up in Bermuda, you just thought that everyone was going to get a bike once they turned 16. Everyone has ridden before. But when I hear it, I'm like, you know what? I don't even knock it. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. But here's a question real quickly. And this has more to do with something that we can talk about in subsequent episodes, because they have changed the rules over the last few years. And Maya can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know when I was 16, we could tow people, we can do things. I'm not quite sure. I think they've changed rules where you can't tow if you're 16 now or something like that. And then like they've obviously done different things over the years. I guess a question would be, do you think raising the age from 16 would actually be helpful? Let us know. Okay, so it's 18, Maya said. You need 18 to tow people. See, it wasn't like that when I was 16. But what are your thoughts? Do you think the age should just be raised to 18? Yes or no? And we can talk about that in subsequent episode. Manuela Jones took us back. Mobilette. See, that was even a bit before my time, a bit. The Mobilettes. Michelle White says, this advice applies to all, not just youth. With that said, they watch what adults do. Adults need to show examples of good driving. Absolutely, absolutely. Anthony Pete says, good advice. Pay attention. It is modeled at Project Ride and the new riding school. The electric bikes are new dynamic. They drive past blind gates silently, and people do not hear you. Be cautious. Thank you so much for that. Michelle White says, my dad insisted that I wait until 17 to give me a bike with lots of restrictions. Do you think the age should be raised from 16? B. Denise Hollis says no. Charles Jeffers responding to Manuela John about the Mobilette, saying we're aging ourselves. Yeah, that was before my time. Michelle White says no, don't raise the age limit. Mobilettes and V50s. My mom had a V50. I actually had a picture of it the other day up of me sitting on her V50. B. Denise Hollis says it's not that young people, it's not the young people getting in the accidents. It's not the young people necessarily in the fatalities, but they certainly are getting in the collisions. But that said, Denise, I think the challenge is, and I think Dr. Chris Johnson said it when he was head of Road Safety Council, young people become older. So if we don't correct their habits while they're young, then they become the bad drivers. Remember, all the drivers that are getting the collisions that are older were once young. So trying to change that mindset with the young people to give them advice to help them by the time they get the ages of many of the people who are getting these collisions, they will know better. So Ebony Susan said no, though having an almost 16-year-old makes me want to say yes. See, I see what you're doing there, Ebony. Kenton Trot says, I don't think raising the age will assist. However, think that all 15/16-year-olds should take Project Ride and the course offered by Systemized. And Michelle White says, Moby got, so she must have had a Mobilette as well. Anthony Pete says, no, 16 is great. My Peugeot 103 couldn't tow, too slow. Paddle for hills with my sprocket change. See, Maya, they used to paddle their Mobilettes, Maya. I remember my cousin had one. I'm like, I thought the purpose of a bike was to use gas. I thought we left the pedals on the, without the gas. Folks, I remember seeing a picture of Charles H. Jefferson II as well with his, I want to say he was next to one. I could be wrong. A Mobilette. Audience, if you have any pictures or video of a Bermudian paddling on their Mobilette, please send it. It was the most hilarious thing. It was probably the best sight you'll see in the 80s when I was growing up. Jody Virgil says, good morning, TDH family. When entering a main road from a side road, wait for the entire car or truck to pass, as there is often a bike directly behind those vehicles and are not seen. Good advice. Very good advice. I'm gonna tell you, once I see something pass, I always think it's time to go, and then I wait. And thankfully, I didn't take that opportunity because something usually behind. All right, folks, let's bring Maya Palacio in for your Daily Hour news break. After that, we've got Brittany Wolffe coming up, Love Bomb Design Studio. So you don't want to miss that. Love Bomb Design Studio, some creative things happening. Let's see what Maya has for us in your Daily Hour news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, madam. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Um, so, what are your thoughts? Do you?
Well, first off, there were mobilettes when I was in high school. I don't know if they came back because it was vintage or whatever, but I do recall seeing like one or two of people who like may have like reconstructed or whatever. So
I ain't seen a movie since like the early 90s, so I would love to see these things.
I'm serious, and I remember there being a place where there was like a ton of them too, where like we all went and like anyway, there were mobilettes, but
Really?
Vaspas were my generation, I believe, when the Vaspas came out. That was all the girls wanted. And then the SHs and the I want to say V50s, those orange bikes that make too much noise.
Z50s were like Yamahas, and they had like gears. It was like, I
And
don't
they're
know.
too loud, like ridiculously loud, unnecessarily loud.
Yeah, they usually were.
Okay, I think those bikes are also the same ones that came back, and they're like just so skinny, and it just made no sense if you're going to school. You can't put nothing in the bike seat. It just looked ridiculous to me.
They didn't
But yeah,
they saw seats for V50s back in the day. It was just your gas.
ridiculous.
No, honestly, they made no sense for like. But when you think about it, it made no sense with the new bikes, you got space under the seat and everything. Yeah, no, it was.
I was
Yeah,
coming to school with a backpack, with my gym uniform, with my hockey gear for the for after school. There was no way I could have
everything.
made that work.
But I mean, what understanding that young people are not the ones we're reporting in the fatalities or collisions as often. Yes, we just lost a 17-year-old, but they're not as often as many people expect when they start to do percentages. But I mean, advice like, what when you see people on the roads, Maya, like what's something you think you might say to them?
I mean, I've ridiculously enough, maybe I've actually followed some reckless drivers into where they stop at the gas station or whatever and had that conversation with them, with the younger people in Bermuda, because like, yo, you could really die. Don't be following this person just because they're doing this stupidness. Like honestly, and I'll say right to their face, because you need to know too, what you're doing is stupid. You could be risking your friends' lives. And I always tell people if they don't have their helmet on, look, your helmet, yo, buckle your helmet. If I can see them, if they can hear me, I'm on the roads or walking, whatever, and I see them on the vehicle while I'm walking by, hey, your helmet, don't forget your helmet. And they'll do it. And I've actually had, thankfully, someone come up to me like a week ago and be like, yo, I remember you told me about my helmet. I'm sorry about that, but thank you for saying it. And that like touched me. That made me feel like, okay, I'm not as annoying as I think I am because I'm constantly telling people about it.
But you know what, Maya? Annoying is nothing wrong with that. When annoyance is love, honestly, I'm good with it. And I know it can be very annoying. Oh, why she worry about herself today? Man, you better be lucky people care. Seriously.
Yeah. But I think my advice, truthfully, is having something within your own household that is a rule for whomever you might have in your household that bikes. Like if let's say if it is someone who's still in school and they're on their 50cc, make it a point that if you can't get a ticket, you can't get any accidents, or you're not getting that 125. I don't care. Like especially if you're the one who's providing it, like, and you're the parent who's paying for it all, and they don't even have to pay a lick for it. Put some stricter rules on it. Put some stricter rules, because more or less people who don't have to pay for their own stuff tend to be a little bit more reckless with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I found when I was in high school.
I like that. Internal rules in the house. I like
Internal
that.
rules. Yeah.
Good conversation this morning, folks. Don't forget, Daily Play is on the audience, so I'll give away a prize to whoever gets the answer if you get it before time's up. But Maya's going to give us the news break now.
Awesome. Also, another one, probably get a rental as their first bike. That was my first bike. So
experience. See how with that rental first. Yeah.
It did. I mean, she left me on the road sometimes, but
that's funny.
But it also built character. Okay.
You'll make it home.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Starting up with the news this morning, you may have already heard about it, but a staggering close to $3 million worth of controlled drugs was seized in a recent joint operation involving the Bermuda Police Service and HM Customs on Thursday, the 22nd of June. Police, in conjunction with HM Customs, conducted Operation Porcini after the BPS drugs unit were called in when officers from HM Customs intercepted a shipment found to contain the controlled drugs, ecstasy, shatter, and cannabis. The drugs seized had an estimated street value of 2.9 million Bermuda dollars. Officers from the BPS Tactical Division and Drug Unit, led by the Detective Inspector Barker, later arrested a 45-year-old man and executed search warrants at the property in Pembroke and St. George's in relation to this matter. Acting Detective Superintendent Sherwin Joseph, who is currently in charge of the crime division, stated, "This is a significant seizure, which has prevented a substantial amount of controlled drugs from being distributed into our country. The drug ecstasy is particularly can cause severe impairment and permanent brain damage. In some cases, ecstasy can lead to stroke, heart attack, and death. We will continue to work tirelessly with the agent customs to identify and disrupt the importation, sales, and distribution of illicit drugs. The success of the operation demonstrates the effectiveness of our joint efforts and unwavering determination to keep our community safe."
I mean, wow. Just wow. Like it's, and credit to the Bermuda Police Service, because they've been doing a thing over the last 18 months, 2 years, in cracking down and finding all this stuff. But it just makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, and I wonder if the audience feel the same way. Obviously, they're catching a lot of this stuff, but how much is not being caught, and where is it ending up? That's got me thinking. How is that impacting our community as well? And we talk about, operating vehicles on our roads. Being under the influence of anything changes the way we're going to operate said things. So just honestly thinking, I wonder how much does get through and how it impacts the everyday Bermudian life. Just to think about.
Yep, definitely something to think about. And just to know that this seizure, I feel like it's probably one of the largest they've had, definitely this year, depending last year as well, $3 million of drugs off the island. That's a significant number, as they said already. And I'm sure that does stop a lot of the chain of command and whatever operation was going on. So,
Yeah.
Great catch. Next up on the news this morning, the PLP sent out a press statement that claims that the Bermuda economy continues to grow. It said, "There is no doubt that our economy is currently performing well, but we cannot rest on our laurels. The recent release of the government's economic development strategy demonstrates that the government has a sound and robust plan for the future of the Bermudian economy. The plan sets out a roadmap for sustainable economic growth and development that covers all sectors of the community while ensuring that Bermuda's people and business are supported. The plan is centered on 5 strategic priority areas, which include: number 1, local and international business retention and expansion. Number 2, attracting business and promoting investments into Bermuda. Number 3, entrepreneurship and small business development. Number 4, continued execution of the economic recovery plan, and investing in people was number 5.
This is why people think the government lies so much. Look, it's like in the US, they always try to measure a president like based on certain things that honestly probably will be under control. But you got to read between numbers, folks. They say that Joe Biden, for instance, or Donald Trump, whoever president is, they added this amount of jobs during their presidency. You start asking questions. Well, what are those jobs they added? Do they really benefit it? So if it's all minimum wage jobs, is it really benefiting the people and the economy? Is it? Or do those people still need other incomes to actually be able to make a living? Right? That's one. So when I hear government like speaking like this, it's like, how are you measuring that? IB is gonna IB. They're doing well and keeping Bermuda afloat, not because of you, but I don't know. I don't want to get stuck on you. We've got a fun guest coming up, but government, come on, like do better. Because if you ask the majority of the Bermudians if they feel like they're better off from 2017 to now, I guarantee you the majority of them would probably say, hell no. I'll leave it at that.
Well, coming up next in the news here, Future Leaders Bermuda held a press conference to announce the 17 students selected to participate in the 2023 Future Leaders Summer Induction Program. Premier David Burt was there, and he noted that since 2017, the Future Leaders Program and the outstanding team founded by Ryan Robinson, Parent Chief, who we had on the show earlier this year, have helped to unlock the potential of 86 future leaders over the 5 summer programs, educating them about the important matters that face our society today and empowering them with the skills and knowledge to effect positive change. The governor of Bermuda is proud to support this program as we have since its commencement. We will again commit $25,000 from the Cabinet Office budget to ensure that today's students can participate without worrying about the cost. We will continue to support programs like this that encourage the growth and development of young Bermudians and prepare them for future opportunities and leadership roles. To see the program's success, you need to look no further than Mr. Sion Tatum and Ms. Mackenzie Cole Tuckett. Both are graduates from the Future Leaders Summer Program and have now served as assistant directors for the organization, helping to empower other young people and continue the incredible work that has helped them develop into outstanding young influential leaders in our community.
Good program, RRP and the crew. So keep doing your thing. I noticed something though, Maya. A lot of the same names are involved in a lot of these programs. Like you just mentioned, Mackenzie Cole Tuckett. She was involved in long-tail learning and so on. And that's not a bad thing. What I want to say, other young people take heed. And this is, just hear me out when I say this. Many of you are going to college. You're leaving college. You may have trouble finding work. Look at what the young people involved in these things are doing. They're building the right clout. They're gaining experience in different spaces. They're putting themselves out there into spaces where people will know them. This is what's going to help you more than any college degree ever will. So look at people like this, no matter your age. Learn from the moves that they're making.
Same with the ladies of the Bermuda Youth Connect as well. They are in a lot of different, organizations that help to build Bermuda's youth. Coming up next, if you haven't heard about all the issues with Belka, then you are definitely living under a rock, because there have been a lot of issues when it comes to the soot that's falling on the neighboring communities. Well, there was a release that came out by Wayne Keynes, who operates there at Belko, and talked about, in a very long press statement, the different phases that they're taking to help eliminate the odor, the soot, and just the overall uncleanliness of what's going on in the neighborhood. Well, he said the work on phase 4 will begin in Q3 of this year, and that will see the installation of a dryer skid before the end of the year. The dryer skid will remove moisture from the combustion process and further reduce soot fallout from the NPS exhaust stack. They have a list of one phase per quarter going on of different objectives that they're trying to reach so that there is cleaner air within that community. He went on further to say that the team at Belko is committed to exploring implementing all possible solutions that have been identified, no matter how many steps it takes, to ensure that the soot fallout and odors are eradicated at the source. Each step takes time, while also ensuring a systematic approach to protect the island's reliable electricity supply. In addition to the dialogue we have had with our neighbors, Belko has also engaged a team of experts who are dedicated to taking a proactive approach to monitoring the environmental impacts of the operations in order to identify any possible issues. Trusted third-party experts also ensure that our team's findings, data, testing, and monitoring methods are following best practices. This is important because remedies must be guided by specific data. Should our neighbors experience any impacts, we encourage them to notify us as soon as possible by filling out the form available on our website or emailing us as well. Please rest assured that our neighbors' concerns are our concerns, he says. We take them seriously, and we will continue to share information, to communicate and listen. I want to thank our neighbors and our community for their patience while we work to continue to improve our operations and reduce our operational impact.
It was said earlier this week that when the premier and that individual speak, it's just hard to believe or trust anything they say. And I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to close out this news segment with a statement that came from the Eastern School Alliance that remains concerned about the ongoing primary school consolidation process. I'm just going to leave this up on the screen for anyone who's interested. But they say, we are concerned parents do not oppose reform from the school system. We agree that the system needs to be improved to achieve equitable educational outcomes for Bermuda's children. We simply want to ensure that any reform plans are rooted in research on student outcomes and tailored to the situation in all communities across the island. I'm going to scroll down a bit more, but basically they also mentioned how this additional, apologies, let me find my place. Well, they went on to say that the feedback that we are gathered from concerned parents has been consistent. They say that the primary school consolidation process needs to stop and true collaboration needs to take place. Reform are inherently disruptive, and we are not willing to disrupt the education of 38% of Bermuda's primary and middle school children unless and until we have sure that the stated goals of the equitable education reform will actually be achieved. We are specifically concerned with the consolidation process, and as such, the transition to signature schools, phasing out of middle schools, development of education authority, and parish primary pilot programs at Francis Patton and private school can all proceed with no disruption. This additional time will allow the ministry to replace the current unacceptable consolidation plans with a collaborative approach that will achieve community support. In his statement in the House of Assembly on May 5th, the minister laid out all the avenues that the ministry has engaged with the community to reform. While there have been many meetings and many forums with the ministry has communicated plans, there have been very few opportunities for concerned parents, grandparents, and community members to get answers. And the majority of decisions made by the ministry were not made in consultation with the community. Examples are the parish primary school location strategy team worked in secret and solace, no public input or input of the schools. The rubric developed to score schools was developed with no public input or consultation. There has been no evidence that the location team scores are even mathematically possible.
And I heard they had a West End meeting the other day as well.
I believe it would have been. Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I missed that one.
I saw someone say that, but it's just interesting. I think this situation could have been much easier, but you used the word consultation just now. And I just think, we speak about compromise agreements and consultation. I just think everyone redefines those words. We actually put our own definition. And because we don't have a set definition of what those things are and mean, we actually end up having more issues. Consultation should mean what it says. It should mean both sides are consulting to reach common ground, not, okay, consultation, let's have a meeting, even though our minds are already made up and we're going to do what we want to do, So I don't know. It's a messy situation that didn't have to be.
Yeah, the full press release basically states that they just have not spoken to the parents at all. They have not gotten any guidance from the community when it came to the decisions that they already made prior before even talking with them. Basically, they just told them what was going to happen without actually allowing them to have the input in all the decisions that were being made.
Okay, cool. All righty.
As for the weather today, we're looking at some clouds and showers approaching from the south, but we still have a high of 83 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to just be like that high humidity all day and a couple of showers as well. So be careful on those roads.
All righty. And days of the year, you know what? It's actually International Body Piercing Day. And I will not ask anyone if they have any piercings. That is just too personal. So I won't do it. But yeah, it's International Body Piercing Day throughout the world. Body modification has been used for many purposes, from self-expression to rites of passage, shock value, even religious observances. There has been a growing movement in the Western world driving body modification to the forefront of popular forms of expression and self-decoration. The history of body piercing isn't clear, as there is a lot of misleading information out there, but there is significant indicators that has been practiced by both men and women since prehistory. Body Piercing Day is an opportunity for you to find a new way to express yourself with this age-old practice. Yeah, that's it. Maya.
All righty.
Have yourself a wonderful day.
You too. Have a good conversation.
Thanks so much. Maya Palacio, folks. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back. We've got a conversation with Brittany Wolffe. See you soon.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Don't forget, we're going to do a giveaway a bit later to the first person who gets the daily play right, since it's just us this morning. But without further ado, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our guest for the day. We've got Brittany Wolffe. Welcome. Welcome. They're going crazy. Calm down.
Good morning.
Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it. Just tell, this is obviously not your first time, but some people are new. They may not have been around last time, but tell the audience a bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So I am a fashion designer. My brand is Love Bomb Design Studio. Basically, I design contemporary wear. I actually started as a custom order designer. I once had a sewing studio, and then COVID happened, and now I have my brand online on my online studio, and it's also sold in the shops at Hamilton Princess.
All right, doing your thing, and just explain, like, Love Bomb Design Studio. Like, is it just all like things that you make? What takes place? What do you produce?
So it started out as items that I only made, but considering I turned it into an online studio rather than just a website. So it's where all of my designs that I would make, say, one of one, as well as my items that are manufactured from abroad. I sell some Love Bomb jewelry. I have my Love Bomb necklace on. I also have some anklets, some earrings. And it's basically me just being able to have a hub where I can just express, in a sense.
Did you make the headpiece?
I didn't. Maybe I shouldn't have worn it. But my shirt is Love Bomb in my Bermuda waters print.
All right, cool. You're just a fashionista. Honestly, I'm not, but I appreciate what you do, because I'm always looking at your social media and just like amazed at what you put together. I have none of that in me. So
one day I can style you.
Okay, boom. There we go. She's going to style me, folks. So you'll know the difference immediately. Trust me. Let's talk about the upcoming event, Brittany. The Synergy, the Experience. What's it all about?
So Synergy, the Experience actually came about. I was contacted by a friend of mine, Saniqua Anderson of Just Dreams. She is an event designer. She contacted me months ago, maybe the start of the year, just kind of seeing what I could bring to her event space in St. David's Dream Space, just with fashion. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had some ideas, but I nothing was really just sitting with me at the time until I went through some things in May, and I was inspired. And I just felt like it was time to finally have my own solo show. So we've collaborated, and we're bringing together a list of creatives who are, in fact, like-minded, who are just passionate about what they do, not all in fashion, not all in art, but it is a fusion of art, fashion, and design. So I'm really excited.
All righty. Folks, if you have any questions or comments for Brittany, send them through. More than happy to connect you with her. You mentioned the collaboration piece with others. Why would you say platforms like this are so necessary and important for creatives in Bermuda in particular?
Because collaboration over competition is in fact important. Why not come together and rise each other up? You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village for many things, to bring many things to life. So basically, we've created this village to bring Synergy, the Experience.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And how can people learn more? Obviously, it's an event. How much are tickets? When does it take place? Where does it take place? And how can they get more information?
So it's Saturday, July 1st, this Saturday from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's happening at Dream Space in St. David's, near White's, the old White's grocery store, where you can in fact park. But it's $80 and tickets are sold on my website, Love Bomb Design Studio in the events.
Okay, Love Bomb Design Studio.
.com. Bomb Design Studio. Yeah.
All right, and tell people how they can follow you, just to keep in touch with what you got going on, so that they can support a Bermudian entrepreneur.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Love Bomb Design Studio, and you can also follow my personal page, Brittany_Yakima, for all things fashion, basically. But you know, a whole lot of Love Bomb as well.
Alrighty, and is it Sanika Anderson says, "Hi, Britt. Dream
Hi.
Space, 35 Southside Road, St. David." So that's where you can check the event out. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love stuff like this. I like the collaboration. I actually shared something on social media, on my WhatsApp status last week about collaboration takes place at the top, competition takes place at the bottom, something to that effect. I believe in collaboration. It's necessary. So congratulations on being leaders. But just, I mean, what do you overall? How do you hope that this can create things forward for creatives in Bermuda? Because for so long, just creatives, we've been told, oh, there's no opportunities in Bermuda for this. Don't do that. Go do IB. Go do that. Like, how do you manage to stay encouraged? And what advice would you give to someone else?
Create your own experiences. Create them yourself. You can't find it. You feel like, oh, it's nothing for you. Create it. Just like I felt like I couldn't find the kind of fashion that I'm interested in. I created Love Bomb, you know, and before it even had a name, it was just a matter of me revamping my items and just creating what I found to be what I love, you know. So I really do hope that this inspires many people to start their own collaborative groups. Not that this is necessarily a collaborative group that we're putting together to just keep going as synergy, but who knows, we might just do it annually, depending on how great it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe that this is a great collaboration. It's not only just the event design, but it's also including like Carlos Steele. He's an artist who'll be doing live painting. Within my scene, my runway scene, it'll be Brittany Madeira. She is a makeup artist, but she also is an artist. Like creatively, she really brings it. And then just even having like the vibes of the night by DJ Ivories. We all know that he's passionate about what he does, you know? So it's really amazing to just all just come together and just have just the same kind of mindset in just being able to create and just, I don't know, just push forward and just do the best at what it is that we do, you know?
Yeah, Synergy the Experience, 35 Southside Road, July 1st, $80. What time?
6 p.m. My runway show will be at 8:30. Come early as you can, really, but make sure you're there for the show. We have seats for you for the show. We have complimentary welcome drinks from Guzzlins. It's just a really good time that we expected to have with you, for you to leave fulfilled. And also there will be like a self-care, mental health awareness aspect to it, because our mental health is in fact important, and that's a lot of the reason why I felt so just encouraged to just connect with Saniqua in this way, because we all go through things, but don't allow them to keep you down, or don't sit in it, you know what I mean? Just continue to push on, do the things that make you feel good, and just be your best self, you know?
Yeah, indeed. Brittany, thank you so much. I know you're going to run, but all the best with this event. Just keep us posted. Let us know what we can do to keep pushing you on.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good one, Jamal.
You as well, Brittany. All right, folks, if you appreciated that conversation with Brittany today, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, colleagues. If you have nothing to do this Saturday, please get out, support some young creatives in Bermuda. Don't go anywhere. Coming back, I hope somebody will win a $25 gift voucher to one of our sponsors when we come back if they get the answer to the Daily Play correct. Stick with us.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Alrighty, thanks again to Brittany Wolffe from Love Bomb Design Studio. Go check it out, folks, this Saturday, July 1st, 6:30 p.m., 35 South Side Road, St. David's. They've got some things happening, some creatives collaborating. So if you've got nothing to do, if you've got nothing to do, go out and support them. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these kind of conversations with you on a regular basis. Please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like if you appreciated the discussion and the conversations today. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Audience, are you ready? If I don't get a yes, then I guess we're not ready. So audience, are you ready to try to win? Now, keep in mind, if you all guessed the right answer at the same time, I can only go by what's on my screen first, okay? There's various platforms. I can only go by whoever answers first that I see. All right. So let me grab a card out of here and see, because you all think I, set it up and stuff. Oh, here we go. That's a good one. All right. So it's music today. All right. Here we go. This is an easy one. You all better get this. Clock's on. Why can't Deborah Cox and RL be friends? All righty. Someone got it. And the one that said it first was NTS that showed up here because they're still in love, because I'm still in love with you. Yes, that was it. NTS, congratulations. Send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com to collect your prize. You guys got it too, Sheikah Rana and Shauna, you got it. And yes, Aaron, you got it. But yeah, the first one to show up on the screen was NTS. Still in love with you. That was that We Can't Be Friends Because I'm Still in Love with You song. Yeah, it was a pretty good song. It's a pretty good song. So again, congratulations to NTS. Send us a message, engage@thedailyhour.com so that we can get you your winnings. All right. Well, final thoughts on today's show. What I will say is, we were speaking about what advice we would give to young people on our roads who are either riding or driving. And all I can say is, as a community, we need to speak more love and hope into each other, not just young people. So if you see a young person, you may not know him. You see someone getting on a bike in Hamilton today or, with a helmet, just say, hey, take your time. Somebody loves you. Just say something positive to them. Who knows, they could be riding and speeding and just slow down and think about what you said to them. Words matter. I've learned this as I've gotten older. As far as the conversation with Brittany, for years, people would say there's nothing to do in Bermuda. Bermuda's boring. This is an opportunity to support some of the most creative hardworking people. If you have nothing to do on Saturday, no plans for Saturday night, go check them out. 6:30, Southside, fashion, something different. Go support them. Alrighty, it's time for the Daily Inspiration brought to you by ER Fisheries and Foods. And here's the quote. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome whilst trying to succeed. And that's Booker T. Washington. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Harp, and please do make it a safe and a great day. We are is out. Peace.